Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Over the next few weeks we'll be getting a few new brands on board, so make sure to put your notifications on if you haven't already. And I normally post my videos out on a Friday night, so watch out for that. There are some new brands coming on board. For today we've got the Peugeot 208, and it's not the 2008. The 2008 is the SUV, so this one is the hatchback. It's similar to your Ford Fiesta, the Renault Clio, which is the previous video I've done, also the Polo, and the Hyundai i20. It's a segment we're looking at today. So let's see what this Peugeot 208 has to offer. Bear in mind, this is the mid-range. It's the Allure model, and the one higher than this is the GT. So today we'll be looking at the mid-range spec of the Peugeot 208. You'll see we start off with the wheels here, which is 16-inch alloy wheels. And if you if you look at the car from a distance, you'll actually see it's quite neat. It's quite a neat car. It's stunning. It's very, it's eye-catching. It's very nice to look at. These mirrors here are, when you lock the car, it does retract on its own, so that is quite nice. This car does not have like automatic like smart entry, but it does have push to start. We'll see that when we go inside. So if you just look, it looks quite basic but neat on the side. And then if you come around the back, it's got quite stylish brake lights. So it's got two brake lights, and it's got the upper third brake light on top here. So that is also a nice feature. And since we are at the back, let's open the boot. It is a hatchback, so it's not the biggest of boots, but it's a decent size. It's at about 311 liters. So it is the average in the segment. Polo is a bit higher, and maybe the Ford is a bit lower, but it is the average size, and it's decent to fit whatever you need for day-to-day driving. We've got the fuel tank, which is a 44-liter capacity. Let's go to the front. I forgot to show you one thing. These lights, the headlights, are LED. Just have a look at the grille. It is quite fancy and looks quite neat. So it's, looks quite good from the front. That's about it for the exterior. Let's go inside and have a look at what the 208 offers inside. Okay, so if you look at the back, you'll see it's got, there's no, first thing to point out, there's no USB ports at the back. It does have the ISO fixes. You'll see these signs here. There's no cup holders here. If you look, you can see this green stitching, so that is in this mid-range. I don't think you won't get it in the entry level, but it looks quite neat. I mean, the seats are quite comfortable. So this mid-range does have it's a partial cloth and leather. So the seats, although you'll see the leather is situated in maybe weird positions, so it's more cloth than leather, but they are quite comfortable. So let me just sit back, and I need to lift this thing up. So it's decently comfortable, although you will feel the cloth more than the leather. So that's just how it's built. And in terms of leg room, it is decent. It's not too bad. I mean, the headroom, it could be a little bit tight if you are taller, but for me it's fine. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, it's got your electric windows, automatic from the front. There is electric windows. It is automatic from the front. And yeah, that's about it at the back. It's decent average. It's not much to speak of, but it is comfortable. Okay, see, the child lock is on, so I can't come out this side. I'll come out the other side. Okay, now we're in the front. So first thing I'll point out is you can have a look at this green stitching. It's just, it's not stitching. Stitching is on the seats, but it's just a green panel here, which looks quite nice. And here you'll see the automatic electric windows. It doesn't say the A, but I have tested all, and it is automatic electric windows. A nice feature about this car is, can you see this button here? It's for window locking. But in this car, if you press the window lock, it actually puts the child lock on. If you guys have children, what do you guys think about the feature where the child lock is actually controlled from the window lock button, and you don't actually have to go outside and change your child lock? So I think that's quite a nice feature. What do you guys think? Because you're traveling with children, and sometimes when you have adult passengers, then it sometimes is an issue because child lock is on, so they cannot come out. So what you can do is just press the window lock button. You can deactivate child lock, and then the adults can come out. That's a handy feature that I'm using quite often. And okay, so let's start at the steering wheel. So you'll see it is a multi-function steering wheel. It is a bit small, but on the in-drive we can talk about that. So you've got your volume buttons, you've got your, I'm not sure what this one does, but you can control the radio here. So it's not a lot of buttons. They got some buttons situated at the back, which I don't particularly like because it's difficult to see. Like the cruise control would have been nice if it was on here, but it's actually at the back. So like I have said in previous videos, it's a bit dangerous because you can't, how are you going to look back while you're driving and set the cruise control? So that is a bit of maybe a fault in the design. And then you can see here, it's got push to start. And then we've got if you look in the center, you've got your infotainment system here. You've got the piano buttons. What I do like here is, normally when you're setting your climate control, you have sometimes a knob that you must, if you want to demist the car, and then you have to actually set the the setting on that knob, but I like the fact that you have separate buttons for it. So this is for the front, that's for the back. That's quite nice. And then yeah, it's got automatic climate control. You've got a USB. The spec sheet says 2 USB ports, but I only see one. I'm not sure if you guys have found another one. So if you open here, there's a nice compartment here. You can put stuff inside, and then it's got a nice place for your phone here. And then one thing to point out, it does have 6 gears. You can see here 6 gears here. Something that's missing from the car is there's no armrest. So the first time I got in, I actually went like this and I fell down. Then I realized, oh wait, there's no armrest. I got so used to armrest. I'm not sure why Peugeot didn't include a armrest here, or an armrest. Put the car on and have a look at the dashboard. So you'll see it is quite funky. It's got like a 3D look to it. Got a 3D look. It's yeah, on the in-drive I'll speak about the user friendliness. There is something that I don't like about it, but we can chat about that on the drive test. So another cool function besides the child lock, which I have mentioned previously, is when you put the car in reverse and you put the wipers on, then the rear wiper comes on automatically. And there is a function to, on the infotainment system, you can actually switch this function off if you don't like it. But I think it's quite nice because if you're busy reversing, if you put in the car in reverse, instead of thinking, hey, how do I put this back wiper on, it actually comes on automatically. And I think that's just quite a nice touch that Peugeot added to this car. This function about where the rear wiper comes on automatically when you put the car in reverse comes in handy a lot during winter, especially in the mornings. Yeah, that's about it for the interior and exterior. Let's take the car for a drive and see how it performs on the road. Now guys, we're taking the car for a drive, and the first thing I must tell you is that the gear changing is very, very smooth. It's an extremely comfortable drive. It is a 1.2 turbo. It has 74 kilowatts of power and 205 Newton meters of torque. So you'll see if I press there, it is quite responsive. It's not, I mean, it's not the GT line, which would be very, very would have much more power, and it's not the entry level, so it is the mid-range. It has your average amount of power and torque, so you'll be fine going up hills and, you know, overtaking. You shouldn't have an issue there. So that's nice. It's very, very smooth. You don't really feel much of the bumps on the road. It's a very comfortable drive. So that's basically the feel of the drive. But now let's talk about the steering wheel. So I said I will speak about that. You will notice that the steering wheel is very small. It can be subjective, so you might like it, you might not like it. Initially, it did bother me a bit at the start, but you know, as I drove it for a few days, I did get used to it, and I don't really feel it doesn't feel like, how can I say, it doesn't irritate or, you know, feel like it hinders my driving at all. So I don't see a way that you can adjust the steering wheel, and that's such a pity. So guys, I know I mentioned that the steering wheel covers the dashboard, and that's something I didn't like, but I actually found that you can move the steering wheel, and look here, there's a clip under here, so you hook that, then you can actually pull it towards you and you can lift it up or down. So it actually feels a bit like a racing car. So if you put it low enough, but you just got to watch your knees don't touch the steering wheel, so it's very easy to find a comfortable position. Since we are talking about the dashboard now, it looks nice. The 3D functionality is great. You can change the colors. You can change to green, blue and red. That's not changing modes, it's just changing the color, so it doesn't change the drive performance at all. Peugeot does claim that this car is at 5.8 liters, and from the way it drives, from the way it feels, and while I'm monitoring my fuel consumption on not the average but the current fuel consumption as I'm driving, it does seem like a fuel efficient car. And in today's day and age, you know, with the petrol price being as it is, fuel efficiency and fuel consumption is a big part of, you know, what you would look in when you're purchasing a car. So I think this car should have a fair fuel consumption, and you probably would be able to get close to that 5.8 liter that Peugeot claims that this car has. And we know when manufacturers state what their fuel consumption is, we don't actually know what conditions they test it at, but maybe you should get it at maybe the early 6s, like maybe between 6 and 6.5. That should be manageable. And in terms of price, this mid-range one is the 1.2 turbo again. It's the Allure, so it'll cost you about 350,000. So the things going for the car is it's a very smooth drive. It's, you know, it's small enough, nippy, nice to move around in traffic. It's got good enough power when you want to overtake, when you're going up hills. It's fuel efficiency is good. So would I buy this car? If I am in the market for a car like this in this segment, I would consider buying this. In terms of drive performance and practicality, the car is very good. And yeah, so let me know your thoughts. I mean, that is about it for this car. Let me know your thoughts on the Peugeot 208. Have you experienced Peugeot before? And if you are looking for, if you did not know already, Peugeot does make bakkies. So I do have a video on the Peugeot Landtrek if you are interested in seeing that. And as I mentioned before, at the start of this video, over the next few weeks I will be getting a few new brands, a few new manufacturers coming on board. So stay tuned for that. Put your notifications on. I do publish a video every Friday, but I did take a break in May, as I have said in the previous video on the Renault Clio. So now in June I'm back, and yeah, keep a lookout for the videos. And thanks again for watching. So if you have enjoyed this video, I do have many other cars on my channel, including, you know, smaller cars like the Suzuki Ignis, and then you've got the cars like this, like the Swift, the Clio, the Peugeot 208, and I've got SUVs like the Kiger, the Sportage, yeah, and a few of those. So yeah, have a look at the channel, share it with your friends, and yeah, thanks again for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.